My name is Amber Crow. I'm from South Carolina. And my story starts, I guess, about 17, 18 years ago. I was a hairstylist and loved my job. And my business was booming. I decided to go out on my own and open a salon. And it was wonderful. And I ended up buying my first car, buying my first house. I was young and just going for it. And one day, a group of friends and I decided to go on vacation, my first and last cruise, and we went to the Bahamas. And our I'd say like fourth day, I woke up and my eye was just hurting. Everything just hurt. It was swollen and red, and I noticed within a couple hours my vision was blurry, and within 24 hours I couldn't see at all.
Wow.
It was just terrifying, being out of the country and just crazy. So we get back home and I went to my regular eye doctor and he was clueless. He said, I think you've got iritis. I think you have some kind of infection. I don't really know. It was just, he had no idea. So we found another doctor. I went to him and he said that he did an eye scrape, which if you've never got to experience, you don't want to. It's like a little razor blade. And they take a sample, and it was terrible when I'm already sitting there in pain. And he comes back and says, "You have an acanthamoeba. It's an aquatic parasite. It's living in your eye. This is very dangerous. It could go to your optic nerve into your brain, and you're dead." And my mom and I are sitting there like, uh,
Wow.
yeah. So he said, we've got to start all these medications and we've got to kill this thing and we've got to order these drops from overseas. They don't even have them available in the States. So, I was terrified. I was young and I couldn't work lights and, I would just get migraines from the pain. I couldn't handle lights. It was just terrible. So I started all these medications and my body just paid the price. I mean, it was terrible. Um, I kept getting sicker. My eye kept getting worse, and it was just a very frustrating time. So fast forward about 10 years, I finally get in thousands of dollars later with a doctor at Duke. And he was wonderful, but he ran some tests and he said, unfortunately, you've been completely misdiagnosed. He said, we don't think you ever had a parasite. And because of all of the chemicals that have been put into your eye is permanently damaged. There's nothing that can be done. And because of all the steroids and, medications that you've been on, your immune system is shot. So this is shingles. He said, you've been having shingles outbreaks in your eye and the medication that the chemicals that you're putting in there and the medications that you're on is suppressing your immune system so bad your body can't fight this. So I was, devastated and frustrated and angry. And I just threw my hands up and I said, enough's enough. No more doctors. I'm not having surgery. No more medicine. I can't. The medicine they had me on, I was having my liver checked constantly because it's so bad for you. And I was just very frustrated. I've always been very healthy, and to see my health just decline. And so that was it for me with doctors. And I went to a homeopathic doctor. He tried, we did the biofeedback, we did everything we could find. And if you can type it into Google and purchase it, I put it on my skin, in my eye, in my mouth. Like I've tried it all. And some things would work. It would help the picture, but nothing with my vision. I very rarely saw change. And it looked like, even looking at my eye, the color and the black part was white. So when people would see me, they were like, well, what's going on with your eye? And when I would look, it was just like wax paper.
Mm.
I couldn't see color. I couldn't see anything. And so, my homeopathic doctor was amazing. He tried to help me build my immune system back up. But as far as my vision, he just, we weren't making any kind of progress. And shortly after that, I got married and had children. And something for pregnancy just like sent me in a spiral. Um, Everything just got worse. And I was having shingles on a reoccurring basis every like 8 to 9 weeks. It was insane. The doctors are saying, we've never seen anybody your age and your health like going through this, but everything just set me off. Um, so it was a lot. I went on a super healthy diet, lysine rich diet, and just tried to avoid anything that could, feed shingles.
Right.
And it was, I don't know, maybe 6 months later, you messaged me. We had just sold our house. We were living in a camper. We were going to go travel the US for a while. And shortly after we did that is when, I had another decline. And I was just, we couldn't go travel. We couldn't, I was just in the bed. I would break out in shingles in my head, down my face. It affected the hearing in my right ear. I still could not see anything out of my right eye. Doing hair at that point was not even an option.
Right.
I couldn't keep a schedule.
Right.
So it was a lot.
So
It was a lot.
fast forward to what? When did you finally decide to try the patches? Was it April?
It was 2 years ago, I think, is when you had first messaged me, and I was so overwhelmed with everything. I was like, no, Jody, I'm just not ready to learn about anything else. Um, and if you could have just driven to my house and like stuck them on my face or something, that would have been great. But I just wasn't ready. And I had actually started researching stem cell injections, and I saw a friend post um, just a few, I think you said April, about the patches. And I remembered you telling me about the patches. So I said, before I go that route, I'm going to come back to Jody. And that's when, I asked you for some information. And I think I just kind of dove in and started sticking stickers on me
Yep.
before I did a whole lot of research behind it.
All right. Well, we're kind of running out of time. Give me
Sorry.
about 2 minutes of what happened when you started patching. What did you notice first?
Within 3 or 4 days, I went to sleep at night and I slept through the night. And I haven't done that since I had children. Um, it was kind of mind blowing. And within 3 to 4 weeks, I could see color out of my right eye.
Wow.
And so that was awesome. Within a couple of months, the pressure had gone. And like I said, every 8 weeks, I was used to having some kind of outbreak. And I've hit my second month and I've had no shingles. And the fourth month, my husband does woodwork. He got a little piece of wood in his eye, not wearing safety goggles. And so we had to take him to the eye doctor, and he's sitting there and they're checking his vision. And I'm sitting there watching, and they do the thing on the wall. And I was like, and I cover up my good eye and I said, I can see that. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I can see the big E. And the doctor turned around. She's like, no, you can't. I was like, I can see the big E. So I haven't been back to the eye doctor to have my vision checked yet, but I can see the big E. So I'm very, very excited to see what my vision is now. But, God told me he would restore my eye 10 years ago. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I held on to that. And what I've seen so far has blown my mind. I've not had a shingles outbreak since the day I started patching. So
Wow.
I'm very
Oh my
thankful.
God.